We will discuss about the conversion of CNF into GNF. So the basic rule for converting CNF into GNF is the left hand side number should be less than right hand side number, and then if left recursion occurs as nothing but this number and this number is same, we have to remove that left recursion, and once after all the terms are started with the terminal, we should stop iterating it. A1 is less than A2 and A2 is less than A3, and here A3 is greater than A1, so we have to change this term as write remaining productions as such, and A2 tends to A3 A1B. Now A3 tends to replace the value of A1 here, so A3 tends to A2 A3 A2 and A. So again check whether this number is greater than this. So A1 is less than A2 and A2 is less than A3 and A3 is greater than A2. So replace the value of A2 in this term. So A1 tends to A2 A3, A2 tends to A3 A1B, and A3 tends to, so replace the value of A2 A3 A1 A3 A2 and B A3 A2 and A. So after the step, again check A1 is less than A2 and A2 is less than A3. So A3, here also A3. So there occurs a problem of left recursion. So in order to remove that left recursion, we have to add the term B3 in these terms. So A1 tends to A2 A3 and A2 tends to A3 A1B. A3 tends to remove this term B A3 A2 B3 A B3, and write these terms as such B A3 A2 A. So the value of B3 will be this term without this, and see A1 A3 A2, and add B3 to this term A1 A3 A2 B3. So see in these productions A3 starts in A3 all the terms starts with the terminal B A B A. So this is a Greeback normal form. So write the term A3 as B A3 A2 B3. A3 tends to A B3. A3 tends to B A3 A2 and A3 tends to A. Value of A3, change all the terms so that it should start with the terminal. So let us change the A2 value. So A2 tends to, so replace the value of A3 in A2. So first A2 tends to B A3 A2 B3 A1, and A2 tends to A B3 A1, and A2 tends to B A3 A2 A1, and A2 tends to B. All the production starts with the terminal and then replace A1. So replace the value of A2 in A1. So A2 B A3 A2 B3 A1 A3. A1 tends to A B3 A1 A3. A1 tends to B A3 A2 A1 A3, and A1 tends to A A1 A3. A1 tends to A. So see A1, the term A1 all starts with the terminal B A B A B, and A2 also starts with the terminal, and A3 also starts with the terminal. So the remaining is B3. So we have to change this this term which should start with the terminal. So B3 tends to replace the value of A1 in B3. So B, A3, A2, B3, A1, A3. So here A3, A2. And then finally B3 tends to write this term A, B3, A1, A3, A3, A2, and B3 tends to B, A3, A2, A1, A3, A3, A2, and similarly B3 tends to this term A, A1, A3, A3, A2, and B3 tends to this term A, B3, A3. So the production for this term, similarly we have to write for same A1. So B3 tends to replace the value of A1. So B, A3, A2, B3, A1, A3, A2, A3, B3, and then B3 tends to this term A, B3, A1, A3, A3, A2, B3, and then this term B, A3, A2, A1, A3, A3, A2, B3, and then this term B3 tends to A, A1, A3, A3, A2, B3, and then this term B, A3, A3, A2, B3. So all started with the terminal. So that's all. This is the converted GNF form.